All right, Vinny, we're gonna do a magic trick with this deck of cards. But first, I'm gonna use this deck to make a prediction.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it differently than I would normally do. I'm gonna put these cards behind my back. I'm gonna open them up, and I'm taking them out, and I'm gonna flip one card. You can't look. You're gonna flip one card upside down, and place it back in. And I don't want you to look because I don't want to look. I don't want to know which card is my prediction. So I'm trying to close the box. Okay. So I flipped one card and only one card over inside this deck, and that's going to be the prediction card for this trick. All right. So we'll get back to that in a minute. Okay. Now, what I want you to do with this deck is you're going to cut the cards any way you want. I'm just going to demonstrate real quick. So you'll cut the card somewhere. You'll look at the card. So I get the 10 of hearts this time. It doesn't matter what card you get. Look at it, show it to the camera while I look away, and then hold it against your body so there's no way I can see that card when I turn back because I don't want to cheat and see the card.
Okay.
All right, you understand? All right. I'll just cut these cards. Get that lost in there somewhere. All right. So I'm going to look away. You go ahead and cut the cards and let me know when I can look back.
Okay, you can look.
Good. All right. All right, now, and I'm going to look away again. I want you to take your cards, just give them a shuffle, just mix them up like that. Shuffle them into themselves, and then you can shuffle these cards into them as well. All right? So go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
All right. All right, now, before I do anything with this deck, let's take a look at what my prediction was. All right, so we've got this deck of cards here. So there's going to be one card that I flipped upside down inside this deck. Somewhere in here. Oh, there it is. You see it? One and only one card upside down in this deck. I'm going to put it right there. And that'll be hopefully the right prediction. So now for the first time, now there's no way I could know what card you're thinking of. I don't know where it is in this deck, but it doesn't even matter. I'm going to ask you for the first time to say it out loud. What card are you just thinking of right now?
The 9 of clubs.
The 9 of clubs. How amazing would it be if this was the 9 of clubs? So before I get into the tutorial for this trick, I want to start by saying this is not one of those quick close-up tricks where someone just hands you a deck of cards and you're going to perform this one. This one takes a bit of work, it takes some setup, and you're going to ruin your own setup, and that's what makes it such a strong effect. So it has two components to it. The first part is the deck. It's a regular deck of cards, but they're set up in a reverse size Stebbins stack. So that allows you to be able to show the cards. In my video, I didn't even show the cards face up, but I could have spread them out to show they were all mixed up, and then you can cut the cards and kind of mix them up a bit. You can't shuffle these cards because they are in a specific stack. Now, if you're not familiar with the size Stebbins stack, I'll put a link in the comments in the description to another video that goes into a deeper description of how to set up the deck and how the deck works. But the bottom line is with a regular size Stebbins stack, you can look at the bottom card of the deck and that would tell you what the top card is going to be because they're just kind of in order. So if you just took this card and you added 3 to it, so there's a 3, the top would be a 6, and because that's a spade, this would be a diamond in a regular stack. But when I show you the top card, it's not going to be that card because it's a reverse size Stebbins stack. And all that means is I took a regular size Stebbins and I just dealt all the cards on top of each other to do it reverse. So now the top card will tell me the bottom card, right? So if I were to cut these cards at any point, I can now look at the top card and queen, I could add 3 to that. So king, ace, 2, diamond, so it's clubs. So the bottom's going to be 2 of clubs. Now, if that all sounded confusing, don't worry about it. Just watch the other video on size Stebbins. It's actually very simple. It just looks complicated until you understand the stack. So for this trick, the first and most deceptive part of it is that you're going to allow them to shuffle your stacked deck. And no magician ever does this because it's such a pain in the neck to set up a stack. So if I was performing in a show where I'm actually getting paid and I want to do something mind-blowing, this is the perfect kind of trick for that because even the magicians in the audience would never suspect it's a stacked deck as soon as I let them shuffle. But here's how the move works. Anywhere that they cut the deck, because it's a reverse size Stebbins, wherever they cut, I can look at the next card and that will tell me the card they're going to see. Because think about it, if I were to cut the cards right here, this would be the top card and this would be the bottom card. And so I'd easily be able to tell what that card is just by looking at this one. So that's a jack, so add 3, queen, king, ace of spades, and it's the ace of spades. So it doesn't matter where they cut. They're going to have that card. I don't have to see that. All I have to do is see this top card. Now, how do I get to see that top card without being obvious? Well, when I'm showing them how to shuffle their cards after they look at them, I'm going to mix these cards up. But as I shuffle these, I just take this top card, that's the one I have to see, and I peel that one off, and then I shuffle these other cards on top. So I've messed up my stack now, but all I had to do was that and show them to explain what to do. And as I'm explaining now, I just kind of peek at this bottom card. It's the 5 of diamonds, right? So if that's the 5 of diamonds, 6, 7, 8 of clubs. They saw the 8 of clubs. It has to be the 8 of clubs. But the stack is messed up over here now, so now I can just keep shuffling. I already know the answer. It's the 8 of clubs. Of course, they at this point couldn't imagine that I could possibly know what card is there, and I'm going to tell them to mix these cards up. So now they're going to shuffle these cards, and then I'm going to tell them to shuffle them all together. They're going to mix them all together. In their mind, this is as random as it possibly could be. There's no way I can know what card this is. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing this in reverse? Because the beginning of the trick was me actually putting this deck behind my back and flipping a card upside down. And the reason for that is that I didn't actually flip a card upside down. I put this behind my back, and I took the cards out. I made the noise like I was flipping a card, and I put the cards right back in. And that's because this is an invisible deck, which is a deck of cards that you can buy online. I highly recommend it. It's probably one of the strongest effects in Magic. Now, if you don't have an invisible deck and you don't want to buy one, you don't have to use this ending. There are so many other ways you could end this trick. For example, instead of putting the cards behind your back in the beginning, you can go through this part, and then you can tell them to just imagine their card as you draw something on a piece of paper, and you're just going to draw the card. You know what the answer is. You know what their card is. So you just draw it on there, and then you'll reveal it at the end without even looking at their card. You'll ask them to say the name of their card. You'll show the picture you drew is exactly the card they were thinking of. It's a very strong effect. The reason I like adding this other part to it is because, remember, before the trick even started, I apparently flipped one card over inside this deck, and it's behind my back, and then it comes out. So as far as they're concerned, I've already made the prediction. It takes the heat off me later when I'm looking for their card to learn what the actual card is. With an invisible deck, you can make any card be upside down. That's how an invisible deck works. Now, I'm not going to go into the workings exactly of an invisible deck. You can make literally any of the 52 cards be the one card that's upside down inside the deck. So it adds a great surprise element to the end of the trick, because they think you flipped that card upside down much earlier. You take that card out, you put it on the table, you put the rest of the deck away. Now it takes the heat off of the deck that is the trick deck. You put these cards away, put them in your pocket, get rid of them. Now you've got one card on the table. You ask them what their card was. They announce it. You flip this card up, and now everything on the table is fully examinable. There's nothing to hide. And they could even flip this deck over and look at it. Not only is it mixed up, it's no longer in an order.